How have they tried to not simulate games, not even like try to simulate the tempo and the speed and intensity, but like, do you know if they've done anything that would be considered different than, hey, let's show up at the rink once a day and we'll get a sweat on?
I actually don't know. I hadn't bothered to ask the question with so many other offseason things going on, but NHL did drop another feature today on YouTube, and it was all about their strength training, which like is obviously like such a rarity in the playoffs. Teams are just trying to like stay afloat at this time. Like their off day is like do as little as possible. We'll get you some recovery tools. The Normatec leg bags will get you some good food and hydration, maybe an IV or two. And like here are the Canes in the gym, you know, strength training, lifting heavy, getting stronger. Like it's crazy to think about what they've been able to arm themselves with over this period of time, because they're not in recovery mode. They're in get stronger mode. It's an absurd abnormality at this time of year.
So if we look at both series, you know, certainly an underdog and a favorite. Now, if we're looking at the West Conference Final, of course, Vegas takes the first game there. To me, some of it's out the window now in terms of how you viewed it going in, just because of Cale Makar and the fact that we just don't know. Like the fact that he had 7 days off or a week off, still couldn't play in game one, and day-to-day means nothing to me in the playoffs because that's what every coach says. We have really no idea when he's going to play. Maybe the urgency's up now after dropping game one. Not that Montreal can pull anything from what Vegas did, but, you know, so let's just switch over then. If we talk about Vegas, has the nature of that series changed just because of Cale Makar's absence?
I think it has. And I think the other thing is not just because Vegas has been there, done that, and a huge chunk of this core has already won a cup together relatively recently in 2023, but also I don't think that the Makar injury, and I should say injuries because I think it's more than one, is maybe not just a day-to-day thing. Like, they're hoping that he plays this series, but I don't think that that's an absolute foregone conclusion. Could magical things happen? Are there magical healing powers out there that could get him back at some point at 50%? Yeah, maybe. But I think it does change the complexion of the series. I think the notion that they're essentially kind of just playing five defensemen as it is, and I'd wonder if Nick Blankenburg pops back into the lineup for game two to maybe see if they can balance out their pairs a little bit better, that it sticks out in a big way. Like, it's not just Cale Makar and the offense that you're missing, whose point production was way down, but he's a one-man breakout. He's a guy that 3 strides and it's either onto someone's stick and they're moving, or it's 3 strides himself and they're out of the zone. To take that out of your arsenal, and someone that plays 27, 28 minutes a night at this time of year, I don't know how you couldn't look at it as anything other than a material change in the series, not to mention how it also then impacts a power play, which, yes, did score, by the way, last night, but finally found a rhythm these playoffs after struggling all season long.
It at least takes the air of invincibility away from this team. And we were talking yesterday about agitation and Nathan MacKinnon, and how when he's clearly agitated, when it's just on the ice, you can see it in his play. And I think we saw some irritability or agitation after the game when he was asked about what happened in game one. It felt like things were going so well that we didn't see any of those potential red flags with Nathan MacKinnon, but I kind of felt after watching or hearing him last night that, oh, this is concerning for them too.
Well, I think he understands, right? He understands the superpower that Cale Makar is, and he's one of those guys that it's to his benefit that he can't, I think he wears his emotion on his sleeve and his passion, which you can see ooze out of him as this, you know, force of nature that takes games over. But at times, I think he can also be his own worst enemy with how badly he wants it and how he doesn't really have that off switch to be able to turn it down a few notches, at least publicly. And sometimes that gets in the way. You try and do things yourself. And I think they ran into a little bit of that in the gold medal game, of course, back in Milan. So when you get to these moments, and the Avalanche should be the true definition of a team based on their depth and their ability to throw 4 lines out there, not just 3, they should have a big advantage going up against teams that when you try and do too much, it takes away from the rest of what your team is. So we'll see how he responds in game 2, how he reacts. One game and one win will change again the complexion of this, because this Avalanche team, I'm again not saying it's going to happen, but they're infinitely capable of reeling off 4 straight wins to make it a gentleman's sweep. So I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I think what this injury has done, guys, is crack the door open for Vegas to waltz through.
Frank, I want to talk about John Tortorella. And it's not necessarily in the sense about what happened with the not meeting with the media, whatever. That's kind of it's always been Torts in his relationship with the media is one thing. His coaching is another. And I'm curious as to what he's done since he took over. So obviously Vegas saw the necessity to get rid of Bruce Cassidy and bring in John Tortorella, who, for my money, we're kind of from the same playbook, kind of hard drivers, at least by reputation. Hard-nosed guys ask you to play a certain way. Like, to me, Torts has been around so long that maybe his style has changed, but to me, Torts hockey was always pack the paint, block as many shots as you can, play for each other, that kind of way. Is he still doing that? And then, I watched the broadcast yesterday, and the quote from Torts was, "I'm just trying to stay out of the way as much as I can because this team, does its own thing." So, what is it about this version of Torts that has worked for Vegas in this obviously very short span of time?
Well, I think 2 things. One is he also pointed out that this job is so totally different than the last one he had when he was in Philly, where he had to do a lot of teaching, that this group doesn't need a lot of teaching. They've got a way that they play. They're successful. There's a lot of vets, and they've won in the postseason before, which leads me to 2, which is he's instilled a lot more confidence. The one thing about Bruce Cassidy, a master tactician, a true defensive zone genius, a guy that people have tried to emulate. I think one of the top 5 unquestioned best coaches in the league. But one thing that's, a bit of an issue as Bruce Cassidy has gone on, and why his tenure in Vegas ended up being relatively short, even though it included a cup, is because he has a little bit of a sarcastic edge to him that really wears and grates on players. And when you come in and you sort of take that back and you've got this real sense and genuine way to communicate with people that John Tortorella is very endearing about, people kind of, they relax a little bit. They exhale and they play. And so you've seen part of that in Mitch Marner, but I think the poster child for it has been Carter Hart. He goes back to Philly with Carter Hart. He had kept in touch with Carter Hart while he was away from the game and went through the trial. And having someone with Carter Hart that knows John Tortorella is in his corner and was in his corner when the chips were down has to mean a lot now this time around in the Stanley Cup playoffs, when you catch fire here, as he's done over these last 8 games, 6-2 with a .940 save percentage. And I just think not a whole lot has changed, to answer your question, but in instilled confidence that really matters because people buy into it.
Yeah, Carter Hart is certainly growing into these playoffs. Has been very good, as you mentioned, of late, and was great in Vegas's Game 1 victory over the Colorado Avalanche. Okay, last one for you. We've talked around it a little bit, but the Leafs and Oilers still looking for coaches. Anything new on either of those fronts?
Nothing new in terms of the Bruce Cassidy permission. And I think when it comes to Toronto, they are assembling their list, and I believe they're planning to begin interviews next week.
Okay. We'll see if any of that information gets out while they go through the process, because they did a pretty good job at keeping a lid on it when they were landing on John Chayka. Okay, we'll let you go, Frank. We appreciate the time. And you got the cutoff hoodie today. I like the cutoff hoodie look from you.
It's not a cutoff. It's full sleeves. It's just
could have fooled me. Could have fooled me.
That's good. Way. Thanks, Frank.
See you guys.
See you next week. That's Frank Saravelli of Victory Plus. Okay, we'll wrap up. Sportsnet 1 tonight, Blue Jays. We've talked a little bit about it, trying to earn a series split. We mentioned Trey Savage. Awesome. Yeah. Outduels Cam Schlittler. That is a great sign for, you can't fix all that ails you with the pitching, clearly, when it comes to the Toronto Blue Jays. But with Savage and Gosman and Dylan Cease. You feel
Yeah.
pretty good about what it's going to look like, at least sort of the spine of everything moving forward. Clearly need to add some starting pitching, get it back, Shane Bieber, whatever, you'll find a way. But with those three, it's a great start. But offensively, that's where they've got to get going. And we talked a little bit about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. against Carlos Rodon tonight. The numbers, career versus Rodon for Vladdy, who still very much needs to get going, as we all know. 10 for 17 with a home run, 3 doubles, 4 walks, has never struck out against Carlos Rodon. So an opportunity perhaps for Vladdy, where the lights are bright and a place where he likes to play. It's a pitcher he's comfortable with. Maybe Vladdy can get off the schneid tonight.
Well, you're just waiting for it, right? I mean, we talked about, waiting for a winning streak. You're just waiting for Vlad to figure it out because he has some portion of this every season, right? People were making the joke last year after he cut his hair. After he cut his hair short, he went absolutely nuts.
That last year?
I think it was last year, right? It was because he tends to get off the slow starts and then it kicks into gear and then you get the Vladdy that you know and love. So you're just kind of waiting for it, but nobody knows when it's going to start. He works hard. He's trying hard to change this. The switch flips when it does. And I had hopes that it was going to be in New York. Last game, last chance for him to find it here. I thought maybe the bright lights, as you said, would be enough to get him going. But I thought this was going to be the Vladdy signature season, honestly. Coming off his playoff performance, then you watched him hit in the World Baseball Classic. I'm glad I didn't bet on this, but I would have gone Vladdy, 40 home runs, 120 RBI. I thought this was going to be his season. And it just hasn't to this point. And no one seems to, like the stats say, obviously puts too many balls on the ground. That type of stuff doesn't hit with the premium launch angles and all that stuff that he needs to hit for power. But he can. So it's just a weird waiting game. And I find that with the entire offense. You're just waiting for the opportunity for them to do damage. I'm like, you got to pick a lane. If you're not going to be the team that hits home runs, then you have to look at the teams that don't hit home runs and are still good. So you're talking about the Rays and the Brewers, teams that the Jays were compared to last year. Well, both the Rays and Brewers hit much better with runners in scoring position than you do. And they do other things. Like getting hits is not necessarily the Jays' problem, but the Brewers steal a ton of bases. The Rays steal a ton of bases. The Brewers walk a lot. The Jays don't steal bases. They don't walk.
They don't have a niche.
They don't strike out, which is great. Neither do the Rays. Like that was one of their calling cards from last year was don't strike out, put teams under pressure. But they're just not doing that. So I'm like, if you're not going to be the Yankees and crank 73 home runs to this point, which would be, it's a difference of like 29 home runs. Like, what could you do, even if they were all solo shots? Like, just run through your brain. What could you do with 29 extra home runs in terms of what the Jays' record would look like? But if the power's not their thing and that's not the way they're going to go, then you got to do the Rays and Brewers thing, which is you got to get on base. You got to get aggressive. You got to walk more, all of those things. So, again, I remain hopeful. I'm just waiting for it.
Schlittler had a fairly flattering quote about the Blue Jays that I cannot repeat on radio, but just about how, it's hard to strike out the Blue Jays, but that hasn't been able to carry the mail so far for Toronto, which needs more to their offensive arsenal in order to get out of this funk. On Sportsnet 360 tonight, Game 2 from the Garden. Knicks looking to take a commanding 2-0 series lead over the Cavaliers. They had a 22-point fourth quarter comeback in Game 1. It was the second largest fourth quarter comeback of this century in the playoffs in the NBA and the largest in Knicks history. So that one felt like it needed to go Cleveland's way. Didn't. We'll see if the Knicks can hold serve at MSG tonight.
Well, that comeback was so anti-Knicks. Like, this is where the Knicks fall apart. They haven't been to a NBA Finals since 1999. They were here last year, and they blew a huge lead in Game 1 to the Indiana Pacers and eventually lost that series. Like, this is the Knicks. They've had good teams before, and they always find a way to screw it up somewhere along the line. And I was just surprised to see it because I was watching.
I went to bed.
We were doing some of the post-game show.
I thought it was over, and I just all right.
Yeah.
And I woke up to the news.
You're like, the Knicks are going to botch it here at this stage again. And they managed to pull off the comeback. And I still think both of those teams are playing for second place because if you've watched even a second of the Western Conference Final, that is the NBA Finals, in my opinion. Yeah. But, hey, you still got to get there. You still got to have a chance. So I'm cheering for the Knicks. Like, At some point, if you fail so much, you just get me on your side.
It'll certainly make the final.
And for those like Knicks fan videos, have you seen those?
Yeah.
I just want more of those.
It'll add to the theater that will be the NBA finals if the Knicks are there. Okay, let's take a break. We will continue to tee up Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final, Montreal and Carolina, after the break with our very own Eric Engels. That's next on the Fan Pregame.
From the 680 News Radio Traffic Center, I'm Justin Pierce. This report, it's brought to you by Toronto Ford Dealers. Southbound on the DVP, there's a collision on the approach to Bayview Bloor. 2 left lanes are blocked for that crash. It is slow from the 401. And then on the eastbound side of the 401, there's another collision that's on the approach to Salem. 2 right lanes are blocked for that collision. The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on until June 1st. Get a big deal on a 2026 Bronco Sport Big Bend. Visit your Toronto area Ford store today.
This Saturday, OLG, an official Toronto World Cup 2026 host city supporter, is bringing together 250 Ontarians to try and make history with a Guinness World Records attempt for the largest game of human foosball. This event is in celebration of OLG's partnerships to grow and support local soccer in communities across the province. Join Ben Ennis and Sportsnet 590 The Fan live on location from 9 till noon on May 23rd at Humber Polytechnic's Lakeshore campus to watch this fun, free event.
Protect your waste and recycling equipment from costly repairs. With a custom maintenance plan, optimize your waste system performance and longevity with Metro Compactor Service. They've got you covered coast to coast with the largest service fleet in Canada. Their innovative iSmart technology can remotely diagnose, troubleshoot, and monitor equipment health in real time. For on-demand or proactive service, sales, rentals, and extended warranties for all your waste equipment, visit metrocompactor.com. metrocompactor.com.
Hey everyone, it's Justin Bourne. When the leaves and flowers officially showed up this year, it occurred to me that looking outside was suddenly a lot more appealing and our windows were a mess. As many know, I'm a big fan of the Jiffy app and I've seen exterior window cleaning as an option in there before. I continue to be impressed by the ease of the service as within a day of that idea, we managed to get them sparkling clear. Try it yourself. Download the Jiffy app or sign up at jiffyondemand.com and use the code THEFAN for $25 off your first job. Jiffy, Canada's #1 home maintenance app.
Great play. Let's go down to Jim on the field.
Unbelievable game, Rob. You had a rough start this year. What changed? Yeah, getting more sleep, not snoring all night. What a huge difference it can make.
Problem snoring? Suffer from sleep apnea? Invest in yourself. Call Dr. Paulette Pillersdorf. She'll use her laser to help treat your snoring and oral appliance like a sports mouth guard for your sleep apnea. Your partner will thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Book an appointment with Dr. Paulette Pillersdorf. Call 647-243-2006.
Transat presents a couple getting up very early for some travel planning. Okay, rise and shine.
What? It's 2 in the morning.
Yeah, Transat's early bird sale. We get deals on an all-inclusive package, plus a reduced deposit, future travel credit, and more.
But early bird sale doesn't mean early in the morning.
Nah, I'm not taking any chances.
Okay.
During Transat's early bird sale, save up to $600 per duo or up to $1,200 per family. Plus, get tons of extra perks. Go to transat.com or contact your travel professional. Conditions apply. Air Transat. Travel moves us.
A catastrophic injury changes everything. At Bergmanis Prera, we understand the weight of that burden. I'm founding partner Kurt Bergmanis, and my historic $24.5 million settlement win is no accident. While every case is unique and results will differ, my commitment to maximum compensation remains the same. If you've been seriously injured, call us for a free case evaluation. Bergmanis Prera, because results matter when it matters most. Visit us at bplawyers.ca.
Mucho Burritos Cali Crunch is a new burrito trend. We put crunchy fries, not rice, on the inside. Because modern Mexicana doesn't bow down, we flavor up. Mucho's Cali Crunch is packed with our smoky grilled chicken, creamy guac, and our bright and fresh amarillo sauce. All made in casa. Roll through before Cali Crunch rolls out. Mucho Burrito.
Love Mucho.
Last summer, the coolest place in the house was in your freezer. This year, it's time to level up. Reliance Home Comfort has over 160,000 five-star reviews for delivering the type of outstanding customer experience Canadians have counted on for over 60 years. Right now, don't pay for 12 months on a featured air conditioner or heat pump. Call on the experts that know how to beat the heat.
Call on Reliance.
Conditions apply. See website for details.
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity and good jobs home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario. Learn more at ontario.ca/protectontario. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Zero Shed has been constructing sheds for over 30 years. Built right, on site, in just one day. For spring specials, visit DuroShed.ca. That's DURO shed.ca.
Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
All right, back on the Fan pregame. As we've been talking about, Eastern Conference Final begins tonight. It's been a long layoff for the Carolina Hurricanes. 11 days near record breaking. I think they're going to be ready to go, though. I think Carolina, Rod Brind'Amour team.
Well, their game isn't predicated necessarily on skill, right? It's just energy, effort.
When
force.
output is the thing that you hang your hat on, like maybe it's not as much of a getting back to speed thing.
I'm afraid for Montreal in the first 10 minutes. That's going to be, to me, that'll be survival mode. If you can get through that first half of the first period, and if you're not down 2, I think that's a win for Montreal. But because Carolina's coming after you.
Yeah, they certainly are. It should be a scene tonight, and there will be Eric Engels of Sportsnet.ca, and he joins us now. Eric, thanks for doing this. What's the relationship between these two teams? Because they traded offer sheets once upon a time. I don't know if we can call them rivals, but is there a rivalry?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say that, but hopefully it develops over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
that would be
help.
nice.
Right from the jump would be great.
It would be nice. And you said weeks as in plural. They haven't needed weeks so far for the Carolina Hurricanes. So hopefully we get to that point. Who do you think is the more disadvantaged side tonight? We've been doing the rest versus rust thing. Let's get it out of the way. Is it the team exiting another meat grinder series, 14 games in total, game 7s, which are clearly very nerve-wracking, or the team that's had their feet kicked up on the desk for nearly 2 weeks?
Oh, boy, you're not going to like this answer, but I'm kind of wait and see. I understand, we're all trying to handicap this thing, but ultimately it really is a wait and see kind of situation, right? I could imagine that the Carolina Hurricanes have been chopping at the bit to play and that they're happy that they got some rest, especially when you think about the former narrative around this team, right? They played, a balls to the wall style for 82 games, and by the time they get to the conference final, it seems as though at least some of the steam is out of the train. Now it should be there full tilt. But look, the first game between these teams earlier this year came at a time when the Hurricanes were not playing good hockey. And ironically, it led to a 7-5 Canadiens win, which was pretty sloppy all around. And, I don't know if the rust factor will turn the Hurricanes into that. Again, just wait and see. And I'm not sure what kind of energy the Canadiens have, but when Alex Carrier was asked about it yesterday, he said, we're the youngest team in the league. We've got plenty of energy.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
So, if we're trying to roadmap this, and I know we're trying to handicap here again, is there anything, and you mentioned one of the matchups between Montreal and Carolina during the regular season, but obviously Montreal handled them just fine in the regular 82 games. We know playoffs is a completely different animal. Is there some kind of roadmap they can pull from the regular season that could, give Montreal a path forward to pull off the upset?
Yeah, there definitely is, and I'm sorry for the noise you're hearing. I'm just reversing to get into a parking spot here at Lenovo Center. I wrote all about it today at Sportsnet.ca. There is a path to beat these guys. The Florida Panthers paved it. You have to get out of your zone. You have to get out of your zone reasonably quick. The Montreal Canadiens like to play with control of the puck. What you're trying to do is keep possession of it, but ultimately the Canes force you to punt and live another day, and accept the fact that it's coming right back at you. You can't be so stubborn as to say, oh, we're going to have possession the whole time and keep the puck and start reversing it in your own end, and they'll kill you. They'll maul you. That's just the way they play. They have zero safety valve in their forecheck. They're 3 guys in on you with 2 guys diving down the walls as defensemen. If you beat their first wave of pressure, you will get a lot of rush opportunities. And the one thing that makes the Canadians a much more dangerous opponent than the first two that the Hurricanes played, and that's with respect to the Flyers at a great end of season, and the Senators, who we know have a deep, talented team, the Canadians have more game-breaking talent than both those teams. And they've proven it in these playoffs, and they haven't even had to rely on it as of yet in terms of their first line. So I just think if the Canadians are not too stubborn with the puck, of course they're going to want to execute and try to make plays in their own zone and try to get out with control. But if they flip some pucks into the neutral zone and create races there, they're going to get chances. And that's the reason they won 3 games. I got to tell you, there's going to be a lot of people over the next 2 weeks in Toronto and every other market that studies the analytics and says, oh, they're getting killed and they're so lucky if they're winning a game or two. Throw the analytics out the window when you play the Carolina Hurricanes. They throw 75 shot attempts every game, no matter who they're playing. They're shoot from everywhere. Yes, they'll get their high dangers, but it's all about surviving those waves of pressure and counter-punching against them. And if you do that, it doesn't matter what the analytics say, you deserve to win. Let's put it that way. It's not going to be luck. It wasn't luck that the Canadians made it here. There's luck in it. Any team that goes this far in the playoffs needs a little bit of luck along the way.
Yeah, you're bang on about the Carolina Hurricanes. If we did a deserve to win-o-meter for all their games, I think they're winning 95% of their games because that's just how they play. It's high output, and they do limit volume from the other side. But I was a little curious today, like Rod Brendamore saying, yeah, these two teams, we play the exact same way. I don't know if I would have characterized it as that. Do you feel like there's a lot of Carolina in Montreal's game? You just outlined something that most teams don't do, which is the dedication to that forecheck, which is a bit of a gamble sometimes, but something that they use to certainly win games. Do you think Montreal plays like Carolina, and is that a bit of a concern given that Carolina's kind of mastered this craft, and if Montreal wants to play the exact same way, that almost feels disadvantageous?
No, there's similarities. There's speed. There's two teams that do thrive, particularly on the rush. Carolina, this specific edition of them, much more so than in the past, because in the past they didn't have as much skill as they currently have from the back end to up front, where there's guys like Jackson Blake who's found his way, and also Logan Stankoven, and Taylor Hall's a perfect fit there. Canadians play with very calculated risk in managing the puck. Hurricanes play with no risk at all in managing the puck. That's kind of where the similarities end. Like the Hurricanes, and you know what, both teams do thrive on very connected forechecks. The Hurricanes, and I've covered the Carolina-Florida series last year in the conference final, and Rod said that the Panthers play the same exact way, and he finished the series by saying they play the same exact way, but just a little better than we do. And they don't play the same exact way. The Panthers don't play the same exact way as the Hurricanes. When I said there's zero safety valve on their forecheck, it's the truth. They don't pinch both their defensemen down the wall, neither do the Canadians. They play aggressively. The Canadians their forecheck is, it's a hybrid between a 2-1-2 and a 1-2-2. They're very good at covering their men up the ice. They do, in the defensive zones, like the Hurricanes, play a lot of man-on-man, but the Canadians are more of a hybrid system where it's man-on-man up top. Anyways, we don't want to get into the minutia of it because it's about as boring as the analytics.
You're laying it out beautifully.
I'm okay with it.
But I'm just, it's not the same, and the Panthers weren't the same. Nobody's the same as the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
They play their own thing, and they're going to get to a lot of it in this series. And like I said, if the Canadians can withstand that, I like the way they play.
Yeah, there is a small part of me that wonders, like, Carolina struggles at this stage are well documented, and it's not just like they can't get past this hump. They've won one game,
12 of 13
at this stage.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like it's been it gets mentioned, but also somewhat glossed over. And I wonder if that's a path forward for Montreal in its own right. Like, before you jumped on, I said, I feel like Montreal's got to survive the first 10 minutes of game one, because it's just, Carolina's got, 11 days of pent up energy that they're going to throw at you, and you are not rested. So maybe if you can survive that. But to me, I think about it from Montreal perspective, and I'm like, if you beat them once, which, of course, no team has managed to do at this point, I wonder how much doubt creeps in, because Carolina has not turned that roster over a ton over the last couple of years. It is basically the same core that's struggled at this stage before. I wonder if there is a way to put them under pressure and make them start to maybe relive or remember past failures?
Well, I definitely touched on it in my piece at Sportsnet today. Look, they're not. The boogeyman is out of the playoffs, right? Panthers aren't here. The Panthers, who beat them 8 of 9 games in the conference finals. I mean, they got off to a 3-0 start last year and was on their way to another sweep to build on the one from 2023. The Hurricanes have lost 12 of 13 at this stage of the playoffs, and they've been here a lot. That seed of doubt can be planted in game one. I don't know if it exists beyond game one. It would be pretty important. I would have told you in the Tampa series and the Buffalo series, it wasn't essential for the Canadians to win game one. It was essential for them to take one game on the road to start. They managed to do that in both series. And I like their chances of doing that in this series, but boy, would it be important for them to do it right away. Because if they're sitting there, if the Hurricanes are sitting there saying, you know what, Panthers aren't here, like, we're fine. That other history comes into the equation the minute they suddenly suffer a loss. The other thing is, they just haven't faced any adversity yet, and it speaks to how dominant and great they are as a team. But it also is a legitimate concern to make it this far in and not know how you'll respond to something like that. So, game one is really important to both teams, much more so than we've seen in the other rounds of these playoffs for both teams.
Nothing you just laid out applies to Montreal, which presents a pretty stark contrast, obviously, between these two teams, what the expectation was, what a loss could actually mean. I mean, if the Montreal Canadiens lose, like Carolina's loss to Florida in this series, nothing's going to change in terms of the feel, the trajectory, where this team is going, what they're building, what is to come. They are here, maybe not way ahead of schedule, but they are here at a time when I think most of the hockey world, and I think honestly some people in that organization would feel is a little sooner than expected. But is there a house money feel then to this, or have the goalposts shifted? Like, obviously you're caring about the here and now. You want to win this series. You want to win the Stanley Cup. You want to go to the Stanley Cup final. But when you do have that success, does it shift what the actual outcome may be in terms of the feel and the reality? Is this a house money situation, or have the goalposts shifted now that they've done so well so soon?
If it's a house money situation, the Canadians might as well go home right now if that's the way they're treating it. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something, guys. This team is great, and they have a bright future. And the fact that their entire core outside of Demidov is locked up for under $9 million is going to give them, well, I should say no Dobson's at 9.5. And Demidov is probably going to get to close to 9.5, I would think. Yeah, they've got a bright future, and they'll be around for a long time, but they have no guarantees of ever getting back here. And the Sabres are coming, and if they learned anything, as long as the Sabres went away from this series not thinking to themselves, well, we just got unlucky, because they've got to learn how to defend better than they did in that series, because that would make a huge difference and make them a juggernaut. The Senators are going to be around for a while, no matter what happens with certain core members. Brady Kachuk. They're going to be a good team. There's a lot of young teams in the West that are on their way up. There are some veteran teams that are not going away, Florida, Tampa. You never know. Like, Nick Suzuki has played every game he's been available for since he stepped into the NHL. And you never know what could come around the corner that could derail a season. Like, they are one of 4 teams left standing here, and they may be the least likely to win of the 4 that are here, but none of that should matter to them. They've got an opportunity to go win a Stanley Cup, and I would guarantee that that's the way they're thinking about it. And therefore, no matter what you or I think about the found money thing, or the fans, or people around the hockey world, it really doesn't matter. It matters what they think.
Yeah, that's a good point. And how they view it. And I think if you're a Habs fan, you're going to go into this knowing that Martin St. Louis will have his team prepared and in the right mindset. You're like, when you think about all the coaches, I think Martin St. Louis was always kind of regarded as one of the up-and-coming coaches, certainly entering the realm of being one of the best in the NHL. And over the course of this playoffs, he may have cemented himself as a top 5 coach in the league, at least from people outside of the Montreal market who have maybe not paid that as much attention. Like, I'm still racking my brain over
everyone's trying to find
what
Marty
he
St. Louis
said
now
during that speech, right? And like the one that Jakob Dober spoke about, or where it was like, I'm like, this is a grown man talking to other grown men. Like, how did he change your life in a crazy speech before game 2? Like, can we talk about the legend of Martin St. Louis and sort of how it's grown over the course of this playoff run?
Look, it's been one of the most validating things for me personally, because Marty St. Louis has really let me into his world. I've built a really strong relationship with him. I've sat down with him at the beginning of every season. He knows what I'm about. I know what he's about. And I've been saying for the last 2-3 years in Montreal that to all the people who thought that this guy was the perfect guy to develop the Canadians, but not the guy to eventually see them through to giving them a chance to win, I was saying, this guy's a winner, and he knows how to teach people how to win. And now all that feels very valid. Like, it's good to see the entire hockey world wake up to it. That this guy, I sat down with Jeff Gordon shortly after hiring him, and I remember Gordon saying, I tried to hire him in Hartford, when I was in New York, and he wanted to take care of his kids, know Marty a long time, and Kent knows him well. And he said, he's just special. Like, you guys are going to understand just how special he is. And sometimes, it might be frustrating for the fans that we talk about intangibles, but yeah, he's special. I go to every GM meeting, every Board of Governor meeting. I get to meet a lot of the biggest power brokers in this game. I go to the coaches and GM meeting. I've met everybody in hockey at this point. I'm 18 years into this job. There are not 4 other people that I've met in hockey that see the game the way this guy does. He is, his brain and the way he processes how this game works and how well he understands it is almost unparalleled. And I feel very fortunate to be covering his career in Montreal. It's special for him, and he doesn't need to do this. And that's one of the biggest reasons he resonates and connects so much with his players, is they all know he doesn't need to do this. He's doing it because he loves it. And special is the right word for him. I really haven't come across a lot of people that are like him.
Something tells me you and him are going to be sitting down before the season for many, many years to come. That's a cool story, and appreciate you telling it. Eric, we got to let you go. We appreciate the time tonight. It's been a long run. We might only be halfway there, so enjoy Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final and what's to come.
I will. You guys too. See ya.
That's
Thanks, Eric.
Ingles of sportsnet.ca. Yeah, everyone's trying to find themselves in Marty St. Louis now, and it was, I wouldn't say laughed at, but certainly questioned when it came down the pike. Quickly, we got to get to our FPG Live Conn Smythe, which has at least one change, but Luke Combs is bringing his My Kinda Saturday Night Tour to Rogers Stadium on Friday, June 5th, 2026. He'll be joined by Dirks Bentley, Ty Myers, Jake Worthington, and Thelma and James for an unforgettable all-ages night of country music. To celebrate, we got your chance to be there. All you have to do is listen to our code word. Today, our code word is Fast Car. That is 2 words, but it is the code word. Fast Car. To enter, just text the code word Fast Car to 59590 for your chance to win a pair of tickets. And don't forget, we're giving away the final pair tomorrow. So keep listening for your chance to win. Listen tomorrow for your chance to win. If you don't win with us, you can get tickets now on sale at Ticketmaster.ca. Contest is open to Ontario residents only. Standard message and data rates will apply for this contest. Okay, got a couple minutes here. Last night, interesting result in Game 1 of the Western Conference Final. I don't know if it was necessarily a commanding victory. I don't know if it necessarily really changes the way I feel about what's going to happen, but it certainly started in a way that I didn't expect, with Vegas getting a lead, holding on to it, and winning Game 1. Mitch Marner collected his playoff leading 19th point. Dorofeyev was the first to hit double digits in goals with his 10th. Brett Howden also has 9 after scoring in the game. Carter Hart with 36 saves and was real good in the game. A lot of standout performances so far for Vegas, and Nathan McKinnon, who's been on our list, had a awesome assist, but it was too late for Colorado to get back into the game. Did anyone stand out for you yesterday?
Well, it has to be Mitch Marner, right? Like he was Vegas' best player outside of Carter Hart in that game. And, we're going to talk about Conn Smythe rankings in a minute or two, I assume. And it's, half of that award is about narrative as it is about, just overall production. Because no one's really talking about Pavel Dorofeyev, who has could end up with 20 goals by the time this playoffs
And
is
if he's
over.
got 20 goals, he's got the record for the Stanley
like
Cup.
that. We're talking about a guy who's on that kind of a trajectory, and no one's really mentioning it because no one really, the narrative doesn't.
Well, let's mention
that
it,
doesn't
Jesse
go
Fuchs.
behind it, right? But
let's mention
Marner's
Pavel
got the
Dorofeyev.
narratives. I think this is a Mitch Marner thing, but I like what you said about didn't necessarily change your feeling about the series because the first two periods I'm like, they need Cale Makar. There's something missing here. And then as you watch the third period kind of progress, I thought Colorado was going to do what they did to the Wild in Game 5, which was pull off that huge comeback. It did seem like Colorado started to figure out, okay, we don't have Cale in the third period, and we go kind of, okay, this is how we put it together. This is the pieces. This fits here. So, Mitch Marner to me is the Conn Smythe leader outside of my guy Alex Newhook, who's probably going to score the overtime winner again tonight, and we'll talk about him. But I have a hard time getting on a Vegas bandwagon on a Conn Smythe trajectory just because I still don't think they're going to win this series.
Okay. Well, now it feels like I'm not giving you any input because here's our list. We only got a minute left, so we got to present it. Mitch Marner is number 1, so you're down with that. Nathan MacKinnon stays at number 2. Actually, that wasn't what we had on the list.
Ooh, we do have a change.
Frederik Andersen was supposed to be 2. This list is not what I had written down, but it's Freddie Andersen. I'll take yours. Nathan MacKinnon, Freddie. Interchangeable. Jakub Dobeš. Pavel Dorofeyev gets in. He is only 5 short of Sam Bennett's mark of last season. He scored 15 en route to winning a Conn Smythe. If he stays on his current trajectory, as you mentioned, if 12 more games are required, he's on pace to match the record.
Crazy.
But it seems like Mitch Marner will win anyway. Okay, we got to go. Enjoy the sports. A lot of good stuff on the network tonight. We'll chat.
See ya.
From the 680 News Radio Traffic Center, I'm Justin Pierce. This report, it's brought to you by Co-operators southbound on the DVP. There's a collision on the approach to Bayview Bloor. 2 left lanes are blocked for that collision. Emergency crews are on the scene, and this one is causing a slowdown from the 401. It's bumper to bumper, feeling just as stuck with insurance options. With advice to get you going, Co-operators has got you. Get investments, insurance, and advice from Co-operators. Terms and conditions apply.
Sports News is brought to you by Cooperators. Want to build a game plan for a stronger financial future? Cooperators has got you. Cooperators. Get investments, insurance, and advice from someone who gets you. Terms and conditions apply.
Questioning your team's coaching strategy? We get it. Questioning your own investment strategy? We got you. Cooperators can help you make a stronger game plan for your financial future. Cooperators. Get investments, insurance, and advice from someone who gets you. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Natasha Ramsahai here, Chief Meteorologist for City News. My basement was a mess, so I called 310 Reno Design and Renovation. Their designers reimagined the space, and their team installed the basement quickly and neatly. For a short time, enjoy interest-free financing on 310 Reno kitchen, bathroom, and basement renovations, all backed by a lifetime workmanship guarantee. Who else does that?
Renovate the easy way. Call 310 Reno today.
That's 310-7366 or visit 310reno.ca.
Transat presents a couple getting up very early for some travel planning.
Okay, rise and shine.
What? It's 2 in the morning.
Yeah, Transat's early bird sale. We get deals on an all-inclusive package, plus a reduced deposit, future travel credit, and more.
But early bird sale doesn't mean early in the morning.
Nah, I'm not taking any chances.
Okay.
During Transat's early bird sale, save up to $600 per duo or up to $1,200 per family. Plus, get tons of extra perks. Go to Transat.com or contact your travel professional. Conditions apply. Air Transat. Travel moves us.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Camping on a long weekend without a Toyota Tacoma can feel crowded. But when you get a Tacoma during Red Tag Days, you can take advantage of its powerful I-Force engine and rugged capability to find a better site. Take advantage of Red Tag Days on now. Lease a 2026 Tacoma 4x4 Double Cab SR5 from $114 weekly for 36 months at 4.69% with $4,900 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Ontario Toyota dealer today.
I finished a 5K in 94th place, right after a man wearing jeans. Then a volunteer gave me a medal. But I don't want participation trophies, unless they're from Bet365. With their daily prize matcher game, I win by matching gold coins, cherries, and more. Take that, Denim Man. Thanks, Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have questions or concerns about your gambling or the gambling of someone close to you, please go to connectsontario.ca. T&C supply.
Amazing Days is on now at your local Metro. Save big on amazing items like fresh, boneless, skinless chicken breast value packs for only $4.88 per pound. Only till May 27th. Shop in-store or online at metro.ca.
In Canada, the leading cause of death is cancer. What if you could see it coming before symptoms appear? Whole Body MRI offers advanced medical scans using our state-of-the-art AI-powered MRI machines, which can detect early-stage cancers and 500 other conditions with zero radiation. Take control of your health. Visit wholebodymri.ca to book now. Again, that's wholebodymri.ca. Get scanned.
Now batting, pizza.
big factor for this team. Pat, they're leading all of Major League Baseball in stranded runners on base. Their RISP has been irresponsible, to say the least. I mean, it's kind of a hallmark of a really good offensive team that actually get guys on base. They have a very strong OBP team-wide, very strong OPS team-wide. But it's just weird in those situations where you guys have, runners on first, second, third, maybe the bases are loaded. The Cubs simply aren't taking advantage and knocking guys in. And hell, even last night, cherry on top of the Sunday, this miserable stretch, PCA, undeniably the best center fielder in all of Major League Baseball defensively. You could argue is the best defensive player in the game, regardless of position. He misplayed a routine ball right to him on the ground, got under the glove, scored a couple of runs as a result. I mean, that's what's going on right now. That snowball is building and building and building and going downhill even faster, gaining velocity in the process. The Cubs have got to turn this sucker around in a hurry. Otherwise, they're going to be chasing Milwaukee for much of the summer, and I can't believe it. They could be chasing the Cardinals as well.
Yeah, look, and this weekend, you would hope that they can quickly rebound coming home, which, by the way, remember, starting that series with Milwaukee, what was it, a 15-game home win streak, longest in franchise history? So that went right out the window real quick. But still, getting to stay home here, having a nice off day, kind of recollect, maybe a little slump buster activities. But they play the Astros, who look like a dead team walking, and they have been for a couple of weeks, 20-31. So 11 games under, 3 straight afternoon games, kind of classic Wrigley Field weekend in Chicago. And then, next week you go on the road and you play the Pirates for 4 and you play the Cardinals for 3. So you can grab control back of this division real quick. Obviously, a lot of that will depend on how Milwaukee does. But, again, those are the teams that you would want to play before the season started. Pittsburgh and St. Louis. And the schedule, again, it's so early. Then you play the A's. We thought they were going to be terrible. They're right atop the AL West still. But on paper, they're not a great team. Then you play the Giants going into June, the Rockies, the Giants again, the Rockies again. Like, this schedule, there should be a lot of wins stacking up here real soon if the Cubs play the type of baseball anywhere near that they were playing just a couple of weeks ago. Okay. We've got Rick Barry. Yeah, we've got Rick Barry ready to rock and roll here. So let's get to it here. The NBA legend himself, Rick Barry, NBA champion, 8-time NBA All-Star, member of the NBA 75 Greatest Players, and a Hall of Famer, joins us now here on BetMGM tonight, Westwood One Sports. Rick, it's Pat Boyle and Brad Evans. Thanks so much for joining us, man. How you doing?
Well, if I was doing any better, I'd be making a comeback in the NBA.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Rick, the Knicks had one of the more unforgettable comeback wins in NBA playoff history on Tuesday in Game 1, erasing a 22-point deficit with under 8 minutes to go. How the Cleveland Cavaliers respond tonight and come out of the gate is going to be very telling. I'm sure you've been on both the receiving end and the giving end of some wild comebacks, Rick. So how does that psychologically affect the team? Like, are you expecting a different Cavs team tonight because of what happened in Game 1?
I would hope not. I mean, you can't change what's happened. The past is the past, right? You try to learn from it, and you try to never let something like that happen again. So that's what life is about. Life's a series of experiences, and you're going to fail sometimes in life. Nobody's perfect, and you learn from those experiences. So that should make them a better team, but if they allow that to impact them and they think about it, they have to forget it. I mean, it was a gift. They gave away a game that they should have won. I know the coach has got to be cringing right now, that the fact that he didn't do what he should have done to help the team win. And he's received a lot of actually criticism that I think is justified. I mean, what he did was inexcusable. I mean, you have to, everybody likes to have timeouts for late. But you got to call at least one. You have 2 timeouts left. You got to call one. You got to try to stop that momentum somehow, some way. To not call a timeout at all just made absolutely no sense at all. And he's been criticized for it justifiably. And And that, not only that, but just to come up with call a timeout and come up with a philosophy in that situation. Okay, nobody shoots the ball unless there's 5 seconds or less on the clock, so you use the clock as an ally. You stop just jacking up threes. Again, no fast shots. Go inside to Mobley. Mobley's tough to guard. He's got a good righty, got a little lefty stuff in there. Get some fouls, go to the free throw line, put a few points on the board. There's just so many things they could have done to help themselves and prevent themselves from blowing a lead like that. And it's like nothing was done. It was kind of difficult to watch. And, give credit to the Knicks for the way that they played. But then, also, how do you let James Harden be guarding, Brunson by himself? I mean, that was nuts. It was crazy to watch.
Yeah, rather dumbfounded to say the least. We'll see what adjustments are made tonight, Rick. Rick, let's go out west. Oklahoma City stepped up last night to exact revenge on San Antonio after game 1, 9 of the series up at a game apiece. Pat and I were on the Thunder in 7 prior to the series action getting underway. What was your belief before the two clash initially at OKC, and has your series evaluation changed, and what do you expect in game 3?
Well, I like both teams. Obviously, the defending champions have to be beaten. They're the ones that you have to beat to get to beat the champions, and they played well all season long. But I've liked what I've seen with the Spurs. They have a lot of young people. It really cost them, and they got away with it in the first game with all the crazy turnovers they have. But they did it again. They did it again in the second game. They had too many turnovers. They got to stop turning the damn ball over. They're not going to win. Especially, even at home, you're going to lose if you turn the ball over that much. You give up that many points off of turnovers. So if they can control that, I like them a lot. They don't really have anything for Wemby. If the officials had ever started calling it, what they allowed to happen in that game against Wemby in both of those games was ludicrous. If the places guard, if the guys that were guarding him, they went with a small guard the first time and doing it with what's his face, draw a blank on his name, the little shooter,
Caruso.
Caruso. Yeah, and he had a hell of a game. I mean, 8 3-pointers. He was out of his freaking mind. But if they Hardenstein, what they let him get away with, if he did that on the street, he would have gotten arrested. And they had many replays on there where you could see him. He hooked him, he grabbed him, he held him. No whistles. I mean, they're letting them beat the hell out of him. This is what I dislike about the playoffs more than anything else. Having been a player, having been a broadcaster, having seen it for so many decades, why the NBA wants to allow playoff basketball become like a wrestling match, like a street fight. It's beyond my comprehension, because what is being done to a player defensively by holding and grabbing and shoving and pushing doesn't take any talent to do that. So I said to David Stern, God rest his soul, the former commissioner, why do you want to let that happen, David? Why do you want to give an advantage to the less skilled player by allowing him to do that to a more skilled player? It just ruins the game for me. I had to play through it. I did it, but I certainly don't like it, and I can't stand watching it. And what they did to Wemby yesterday was insane. And even with all of that and their turnovers and everything else, they were still right there. So to be honest with you, if things go the way they went in the first 2 games and both teams play well and the officials actually call the game the right way, I think San Antonio is going to win this series.
Ooh. Yeah, strong points, justifiable and fair for the great Rick Barry. Rick, let's talk more about Victor Wembanyama, because he joined Will Chamberlain as the only guys in NBA playoff history to total 41 or more points, 21 or more rebounds, 3 or more assists, and 3 or more blocks in a single game. Of course, he did that in game 1. Where does Wemby's game 1 rank in greatest all-time single-game playoff performances? And, man, a thing or 3 about that. You put up over 50 points, not once, not twice, but 3 times in your postseason career between the NBA and the ABA. So where did Wemby's game 1 stand among the all-time greats in NBA postseason history?
Well, it was an outstanding performance on his part, but let's not get carried away and start comparing him to Will Chamberlain yet. He's a totally different type of player. He's an anomaly. There's never been a player his size with his athleticism plays the game the way he is, the way he plays it outside, handling the ball. He's pretty special. But there also was never another player like Wilt Chamberlain either that could do the things that Wilt did. I mean, Wilt's done things that nobody will ever do again. So, and to rank him, there's a lot of guys who've had a lot of great games. So, hey, he played a hell of a game, enabling his team to get the victory that they needed to get. Now they just have to take care of business at home. And if they just win their home games, they're going to have an opportunity to, play for the championship. So, hell of a player, love him a lot, and he's going to just keep getting better and better. He'll get stronger, he'll get smarter, get more experience. But it's so hard to have to guard him. And, I kept listening to Reggie and the announcers on TV, Crawford talking about, hey, when you go in there and you see Wemby, you got to think twice about trying to shoot over him. And so my thing is that don't leave anybody. But what's happening, guys driving in there, and the next thing you know, they have wide open guys. This I can't figure out. Okay, basketball is not a complicated game. Why in the world are you allowing teams to get wide open three-point looks, especially on guys who are pretty good shooters, when you know statistically proven that the team that outscores the other team from three-point range wins usually 80% of the time? So why would you leave people to go and even think about trying to help, especially for the Spurs? If you got Wemby in there and a guy beats you to go to the basket, you got to go and cover stuff. Don't leave anybody from outside. Don't give them good looks from three-point range. And minimize the number of three-point shots the opposition gets, and you have a much better chance of winning. I'm shocked at the way defense is being played by a lot of these teams throughout the regular season and even in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Talking to the NBA legend Rick Barry here on BetMGM tonight, Westwood One Sports. He's Brad Evans. I'm Pat Boyle. Rick, NBA champion, 8-time NBA All-Star, member of the NBA 75 Greatest Players, and a Hall of Famer. Rick, injuries are starting to mount already in that Spurs-Thunder series. De'Aaron Fox hasn't played yet in the first two games for the Spurs. He's already a game-time decision for Game 3. Dylan Harper, the 20-year-old rookie from Rutgers, injured his hamstring last game, went for an MRI today. And the Thunder's second-best player, J-Dub, Jalen Williams, re-aggravated his hamstring and is now being considered game-to-game. So which team out of these two, they're both pretty young, they both have decent benches, which team do you think would be better equipped to handle being shorthanded in this series if injuries continue to play an impact?
Well, probably Oklahoma City because they're really deep and they have the more experience, and the young people for San Antonio have been surprised. It's very rare that you see a team have rookies be an integral part of a team's success. It's unusual for us when we won and set back way back in 75. We had Jamal Wilkes, who was the rookie of the year, who was Keith Wilkes at the time, and then also Phil Smith, who wound up becoming an all-star player during his career. But to have two rookies be able to contribute like that is very, very rare. And so San Antonio, I think, will be hurt by losing him if he's not going to be able to play. And then, of course, Fox, who's got experience, who I've always liked as a player, I mean, that's a big factor for them. The fact that they won the one game without him, that's a big plus. So if he comes back and is healthy enough to play, then it might just be that it wouldn't necessarily give the advantage to OKC because he comes back, he has another dimension that he adds to it with a little bit more experience, and he's not going to turn the ball over 10 or 11 times like Castle did. I mean, so, yeah, it's just a situation where injuries are always a part of it. I was a little worried when Wemby went down with his wrist that he had done something to his wrist. Fortunately, he didn't. But you hate to see a star player get hurt or any player get hurt because it changes the dynamic. And it's just a matter then of who's able to step up on your team to overcome the loss of one of your important players.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Rick, let's zoom out wide. Just curious to get your thoughts on this. There's much discussion about load management and teams tanking in the NBA regular season. The 82-game NBA season began early in your playing career in 1967. What are your thoughts on the regular season's length? Is it just right? And any ideas on how the association can combat tanking?
Well, it's kind of embarrassing to do that, but you are trying to win. You're trying to put a good team together. You're trying to get the best players you can get. The way that could have been eliminated, it'll never happen now, is that decades and decades ago, and all professional sports made the biggest mistake, is that in a team sport, on a professional level, every player should have money on the line for every game that they play. Giving out guaranteed contracts, regardless of how you play, you're going to get paid whether you win or lose, is bullshit. That's not professional sports. It should be like, you don't play well in tennis, you don't play well in In other sports where golf, you're not going to win money. I mean, but in basketball, you're going to get paid regardless. So if every player had money on the line, and that's the contract should be all changed over, but I don't think they'll ever be able to do that now with the power that the Players Association have. But just think about it. You take the two worst teams in the league playing the last game of the season. Do you think that any player is not going to go out there and bust his hump to play if he's got money on the line if they don't win? That would have changed everything, changed the whole dimension. It would have changed the game as far as from watching it. Every game would be an important game to every player because if he doesn't win, he doesn't get paid.
Oh, yeah. Love that.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. Talking to Rick Barry here, NBA legend on BetMGM tonight, Westwood One Sports. Rick, let's go back to the Knicks-Cavs series here. I'm a diehard Knicks fan, and I've heard a lot of people say, well, this Eastern Conference Finals is basically just semantics. Whoever wins is going to get crushed by whoever wins the West. Do you tend to agree with that, or do you think either the Knicks or Cavs could actually win the title?
Anybody can win. Anything can happen in sports. That's why you play the games. I'm a perfect example of that with our team. I mean, we weren't even supposed to be a playoff team. Then everybody wrote us off as we went on. Then we get to the thing. Oh, and then the finals. Biggest mismatch in the history of the league. Going to be a sweep. Well, they got the sweep part right. They just got the wrong freaking team. So anything can happen in sports. And so don't count anybody out. Whoever gets to the finals, yes, you would have to look at it on paper and looking the way the both teams played, that the winner coming out of the West would have an advantage, and probably if you guys with the betting and stuff they're going to be the favorite team to win without question. Does that mean they're going to win? Not necessarily. You still have to go out and you still have to play the games. Who in the right mind would ever have thought that the Knicks would be down 22 points with 7-something minutes to go and lose and come back and win a game 22 points down? I mean, seriously, I heard a great stat came up the other day. In the regular season this year, there were either somewhere between 500 or 600. I forget which one it was, but it's still a big number. Number of times that any team in the league had a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter. Only one time did that team lose the game. And here it happened in the playoffs. That's how incredible that victory was for the Knicks. So that just shows you the crazy stuff that can happen. So never count anybody out. I'm impressed with Brunson. He's one of the rare players who has usually improved his performance come playoff time, because that's hard to do because of the physicality of the game when they let these players grab and shove and hold and push and got their hands on people doing stuff which you can't do in the regular season. You have to elevate your game in the playoffs. You really do. But the majority of players in the history of the league, and I've looked this up, rare. It's rare. And most players don't actually have a higher shooting percentage and play better and score more points come playoff time as they do in the regular season. And Brunson's done a great job of elevating his game.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Rick, finally, you're a legend of the game, and we're seeing another legend of the game, one of the greatest of all time, enter the final year or so of his career in LeBron James. Stay with the Lakers? Seek somewhere else? Possibly hang him up? What do you think is the best course of action for LeBron this offseason?
Well, it's whatever he thinks it is. I mean, who knows what he's going to do? See, you guys, all this speculation about stuff, I don't waste my time with that. If it happens and he moves, then we can talk about it. What kind of sense does it make? Who knows? I mean, whatever's going on in LeBron's mind, he needs to do whatever's going to make him happy at this stage of his life. He needs to do what's going to make him feel best. And whatever it is, if he goes to another team and he stays healthy, he's already playing at a remarkable level for somebody at his age. He spends, millions of dollars to keep his body, and he's fortunate enough to never have any super major injuries. So, yeah, I mean, it'd be fun to see him. I'd love to see him go if he wants to. Go play with Steph Curry, okay? So give the Warriors a chance maybe to win another championship. That's the only thing that would make me happy is if he went and played with the Warriors.
Yeah. Oh, boy, that would be something. That would be something. Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, LeBron, find a way to get Draymond back on that team. Oh, my goodness. Basically, the average age of that team would be like 40 years old. Rick, we appreciate the time so much, man.
Yeah,
awesome stuff. Good to hear
guys,
from you, and hope to catch up with you again soon.
Real quickly, the load management, I can't even relate to that, because when I signed a contract to play basketball. I wanted to play. Load management? What the hell is that, load management? I wanted to play. I hated when we were blowing somebody out because I didn't get to play.
Rick, great stuff, man. We appreciate it. Hope to catch up with you soon.
Have happy holiday weekend for you and your listeners.
Thanks, Rick.
There you go. Rick Barry.
That's awesome.
Oh, man.
Legend.
What a loaded weapon.
Legend.
Oh, loaded weapon, Rick Barry. All right, we'll take a short break. When we come back, we're going to hit on the Arizona Cardinals. We've been doing in reverse order of the NFL draft, or I guess in order of the NFL draft. All the teams in the NFL, their offseason, how it went, the big questions surrounding them going into this year, because we got mandatory minicamp just 2 weeks away, and the NFL season ain't too far away from either it. So we will get to some football when we come back. 310-840-4910. He's Brad Evans. I'm Pat Boyle. This is BetMGM tonight at Westwood One Sports.
Spurs Thunder is living up to the hype. Series split 1-1 headed to San Antonio. Will Wemby or SGA take the edge in Game 3? We'll find out tomorrow night. Westwood One Sports.
You've put in the work to get that first job, moved up the ranks, or started a family. Now it's time to take your success to the next level. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we're here to help you keep that momentum going with educational programs built around real-world, in-demand career skills. We'll teach you how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science, plus timeless skills like leadership, communication, critical thinking, and more. Affordable, accredited, and online. A UMGC education fits your life, so you can keep growing while you keep going. You've succeeded before. Now succeed again. At UMGC, we believe nothing should stand in the way of your next achievement. Not doubt, not your life stage, and especially not an application fee. Just apply by June 1st, and we'll waive your application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust the Nemu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
O'Reilly. Restore your tires shine and protect them from sun fading at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Save $2 when you buy 2 cans of Superior Products Coverall tire dressing. Plus receive 4 times O Rewards points. Coverall stays where it's sprayed and delivers a long-lasting shine. Stop by your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The IRS, the world's most aggressive collection agency. They can seize your property, bank account, and garnish your wages. They cause sleepless nights for millions of Americans. Don't be one of them. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, get protected today. Call 800-242-3186. Coast One Tax Group, protecting your bank, home, and your sleep since 2008. With hundreds of 5-star reviews and an A+ on the Better Business Bureau. Call Coast One Tax Group, 800-242-3186. Stanley from New York owed $93,000. The IRS placed a levy on his bank account. Coast One released the levy and settled with the IRS for $2,000. Mark in Michigan owed $225,000. After Coast One stepped in, Mark walked away paying less than $1,500. Call Coast One now. A 10-minute call can save you up to 93% on your back taxes. Get your fresh start today. That's 800-242-3186.
Sponsored by Coast One Financial Group.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
One smile is great,
But one smile in a community of smiles is so much better. A smile has a secret power that most people don't know about. A smile multiplies. It spreads from one person to the next, stretching across entire groups of people. Smile Train knows this and is proud to be creating a wave of smiles across the cleft lip and palate community in over 70 countries. Patients, doctors, advocates, fundraisers. Collectively, our smiles are a celebration of the transformed lives of over 1.5 million children. Learn how Smile Train is helping the cleft lip and palate community at smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
Swing, every sharp take. BetMGM tonight continues with Brad Evans and Pat Boyle.
Welcome on back. BetMGM tonight, Westwood One Sports. This segment is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save on commercial auto insurance from Progressive. Get a fast quote at progressivecommercial.com. He's Brad Evans. I'm Pat Boyle. A huge shout out to the NBA legend Rick Barry for joining us last segment.
That was awesome.
That was a ton of fun. We got to get him on again shortly here.
Totally.
Big time. All right. We're going to talk a little football here, what we've been doing this week and what we're going to do for the next, 3 weeks or so. Each day, we're going to go in order of the NFL draft. So we did the number one pick, the Raiders, on Monday. Yesterday, we talked about the Jets. Today, we're going to talk about the Arizona Cardinals. We're calling it our 3-point stance, breaking down the offseason that was, the draft that was, looking ahead to the biggest questions of the year now that the schedules are out too, and breaking down the teams and giving out a little fantasy info as well. So before we do that, this from our friends at BetMGM. BetMGM players will receive an Any Sport Parlay Boost token. To use the Parlay Boost token, add a parlay wager made up of any sport wagers to your bet slip and activate the token. If you win your wager that was made with the token, you will receive extra winnings. All right. By the way, number to join the show, 310-840-4910. So the big offseason for the Arizona Cardinals, that was, again, they pay Kyler Murray to not be on the team anymore. They cut him loose, paying a ton of money over the next 2 years to get him off this team. The Cardinals, they signed Isaac Seumalo, 3-year deal, over $30 million. They bring in Gardner Minshew to be the backup for Jacoby Brissett. They add Kendrick Bourne from the Niners. They add Tyler Algier. They add some other offensive and defensive line help as well. But then that draft, Brad, taking the big swing on Jeremiah Love with the number 3 overall pick. That is what everybody has been talking about. That's what everybody's going to be talking about this offseason. They've got a star-studded offense, honestly, outside of the position. Now that you have Jeremiah Love, you have Marvin Harrison. Trey McBride is the best tight end in football. Michael Wilson became a near all-pro last year. And so they got a new head coach as well, and Mike LaFleur, new OC, and Nate Hackett. But unfortunately for the Cardinals, Brad, they've got the number 1 hardest schedule in football this year. And that is going to be a big problem, that and the fact that they play in the NFC West. So overall, for the Arizona Cardinals here, I think a big question to look forward to is how long is Jacoby Brissett playing quarterback? Because remember, they also have Carson Beck. And can the Cardinals win a couple of games this year, man? Or are they going to be in the mix for another quarterback next season? I don't think you or I have high expectations for this Cardinals team, despite how many fantasy points their players might get you.
Yeah, that's a fair point, and we're going to dwell on that here in a minute. But I think you're spot on, and I think everybody is kind of in universal agreement. The Arizona Cardinals are going to be rubbish this season. They're going to be lucky to win a handful of games. And, they could be the worst team in the National Football League. They could be the number 1 overall pick next year in getting maybe that quarterback position. But as you mentioned, Carson Beck could get an audition later in the season. I think, honestly, the phrase that pays with the Arizona Cardinals, it really applies to this team, is a phrase that I invented years ago during my Yahoo Sports days, and I still use it from time to time. They're going to be what you call garbage time all-stars. What does that mean? Their defense is going to be bare minimum bottom 5 in the NFL. They're going to be dealing with a ton of in-game deficits. But as you mentioned, they got a damn good offense. You got Jacoby Brissett, who was no slouch last season, but he searched the imagination with 23 passing touchdowns. And a guy that has some of that duality, can extend plays with the legs, average 12 rush yards per game a season ago. You mentioned Michael Wilson, a breakout sensation in the second half of the season. Marvin Harrison Jr., yeah, he was a bit of a letdown, somewhat of a disappointment last year, but still has big game potential. And he got arguably the best tight end in the NFL. Yes, Brock Bowers also in that conversation. Maybe George Kittle is to a certain extent, but man, Trey McBride, the Bridezilla, put a damn ring on the finger. He may catch 80, 85 balls. You add Jeremiah Love. You add Tyler Algier, who's a change of pace back who can bludgeon people, especially at the goal line, along with Kendrick Bourne, who's had his bright spots at times, and was a member of the San Francisco 49ers. This offense could really shine brightly and just pile up the points when the game doesn't matter anymore. They could be down like 35-0 entering the fourth quarter, and then the final score is like 35-24. And you'd be like, oh, well, that got interesting. So for fantasy football purposes, you want to be heavily invested in this offense. This is a perfect storm. Your defense, it's going to royally suck. Your schedule, it's extremely hard. You're going to be playing with deficits, which means catch-up football all the time. Opportunity leads to points, and more points. I kind of love the Arizona Cardinals this year because I'm a numbers nerd.
Oh, yeah, big time. I mean, you look back at last year, the Cardinals were in the bottom 6 in the NFL with yards allowed per game, 358. Even worse, passing yards allowed per game, the Cardinals were in the bottom 10, and it was quite easy to run all over them as well in the bottom 10 in that category, and they gave up nearly 29 points per game last year, Brad. That was fourth worst. Only the Bengals, Jets, and the Cowboys were worse last year. On top of that, we mentioned all the draft picks they went with. Jeremiah Love. They went offensive guard Chase Basanta, second round. Carson Beck, third round. They took 2 defensive players the entire draft. And on top of that, in free agency, the Arizona Cardinals barely did anything to address the defense. They got Andrew Wingard on a 1-year, $3 million deal. And they went out and got Roy Lopez and Andrew Billings, like Jonah Williams. Like they're going to be, like you said, their defense is going to be god-awful. God-awful. And, you know, and imagine being the Cardinals the last couple of years where it's been a lot of frustration. It's been a lot of torture, and you're paying Kyler Murray to not even be on the team anymore. And now you're being held hostage by Jacoby Brissett, who I know that we've had a debate about, Brad. You think he's going to be a better quarterback this year than Aaron Rodgers? I vehemently disagree. But how about Jacoby Brissett earlier this week, not even present for the start of voluntary OTAs? That was according to Ian Rappaport from NFL Network. And Jacoby Brissett is basically, he wants a contract extension. He wants an extension. He's a 2-year deal for $12.5 million last season. He's going into the final year. Jacoby Brissett wants to get paid. You're paying Kyler Murray not to be here, and now you might have some head-scratching problems with Jacoby Brissett. I mean, can the Cardinals, can they just avoid any problems until the problems that actually run full speed in front of them appear with week 1? Either way, let's get to our 3-point stance here. So this is what we do with every team as we break down 1 through 32. Top fantasy football value, favorite player / team prop, and then over or under their team wins for the season. So, Brad, out of all the potential garbage time all-stars that the Cardinals might have this year, who do you think brings you the top fantasy football value on this team?
It's got to be Jacoby Brissett. Quarterback 27 right now in best ball average drafts. That's the number 156.04 overall. You're passed out drunk. You're blacked out. That's how late in the draft that you could get Jacoby Brissett right now. So in the wee hours, he's your second quarterback you're going to take off the board in a single quarterback league and a super flex league. Go the extra dollar in an auction. Maybe go an earlier round or two. Somebody in a super flex should probably have to draft like round 7, maybe round 8. I understand this team is going to stink, and that is going to accelerate the potential for Carson Beck to be inserted in the starting lineup, but that probably is not going to happen until at least, week 13, maybe week 14. So a large chunk of the regular season, maybe the entire fantasy football regular season. Remember, the fantasy football playoffs generally don't start until like week 15. If you go 15, 16, 17, sensibly, there's some crazy individuals out there that play their fantasy championships in week 18. The vast majority of the regular season is going to be Jacoby Brissett time, assuming they can figure out the contract issue that he is trying to leverage right now with the organization. As I mentioned, they're going to be playing from behind. A guy had suitable numbers last year. He was number 16 in red zone completion percentage. I know he's only number 24 in adjusted completion percentage, but he finished quarterback 16 in fantasy points per game. He averaged 240.4 pass yards per game in 14 games played. He threw 23 touchdowns. He averaged as well, boosting the bottom line with 12 rush yards per game. And in terms of fantasy football quarterbacks, he's middle of the pack in terms of strength of schedule, number 17 in that category. I don't think this is cray-cray to say at all. Jacoby Brissett, let's say in 14 games, Pat, I think he could double up that number in passing touchdowns, 28 passing TDs with the arsenal around him and the deficits that he is going to have to deal with, man. He is going to be a fantasy football dream. Give me all the shares.
I'm going with Michael Wilson, a guy that exploded onto the scene last year in plenty of garbage time situations. Wide receiver 36, and his ADP, his average draft position, is 82nd. So if you play in a 12-team league, that means you're looking at the end of round 7, maybe the beginning of round 8 here for Michael Wilson. Last year, 1,000 yards, 78 catches, and 7 touchdowns. Yes, the Cardinals did have Jeremiah Love. Yes, they still have Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison. But Michael Wilson proved to be a pretty damn reliable target last year. I mean, he had 3 games, awesome. 3 games with over 100 yards in a 4-week span, and he finished the season with 6 touchdowns in the last 5 games. So again, even if nothing else, no matter how you think the targets are going to be spread out, if you think the Cardinals are going to be down big in the second, third quarter, fourth quarter of these games, Michael Wilson's going to be one of those guys reaping those benefits because they're going to be throwing the pill a ton. All right, Brad, your favorite player or team prop for the Cardinals here this season would be what?
Jeremiah Love. I'll take the over on 900.5 rush yards at a -110, available at our friends right now at BetMGM. Folks, don't worry too much about Tyler Algier. I think Algier probably get around 25% of the overall opportunity share. That's plenty of meat left on the bone. Probably 75% of the opportunity share then for Jeremiah Love. A du jour, a tour de force. He can do literally everything. Get you tough and explosive yards between the tackles, working off tackle as well. He's got adequate hands, actually well above average hands. I think he's going to catch maybe upwards of 70 passes this season in that catch-up mode. And you might say, well, that's going to come at the expense of his rush yards. You do worry about the playing from behind, potential of this Arizona team, but they do have a top half projected offensive line. So I think the runways are going to be there, the pathways to get the yardage, and that guy's going to be a yak machine, which he was in Notre Dame. He wasn't playing at Bethune-Cookman or the Sisters of the Motherless Poor. It was freaking Notre Dame. 4.50 yards after contact per attempt. He forced a missed tackle. 28.1% of his carries last season for the Fighting Irish. Mike Clay and my buddy, happy birthday, Mike Clay at ESPN. Sent a text today wishing you Mas mi amigo. He's got a project for 255 rush attempts, 1,129 rush yards. I think that's a little aggressive, but he is going to be towing that 1,100 rush yards line, assuming he plays a 17-game season. All I need is 901, and we cash. It's practically a slam dunk. It's practically a sledgehammer-worthy play, Pat.
Oh, all right. Well, you love Jeremiah Love. You love you some Love. I'll tell you who I love when we come back, and then Brad and I will debate whether over or under 4.5 wins for the Cardinals is the right play this year. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back. He's Brad Evans. I'm Pat Boyle. This is BetMGM Tonight on Westwood One Sports.
Aaron Rodgers says this season is his last.
Yes, this is it. Yeah.
Will Rodgers go out like John Elway and Peyton Manning did with a Lombardi trophy in his hands? Westwood One Sports.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 9 plant protein bars, 8 hydration mixes, and 4 mushroom coffee sticks. And now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping when you text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000 to get your 20% off. That's radio to 64,000.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. The IRS, the world's most aggressive collection agency. They can seize your property, bank account, and garnish your wages. They cause sleepless nights for millions of Americans. Don't be one of them. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, get protected today. Call 800-242-3186. Coast One Tax Group, protecting your bank, home, and your sleep since 2008. With hundreds of 5-star reviews and an A+ on the Better Business Bureau. Call Coast One Tax Group, 800-242-3186. Stanley from New York owed $93,000. The IRS placed a levy on his bank account. Coast One released the levy and settled with the IRS for $2,000. Mark in Michigan owed $225,000. After Coast One stepped in, Mark walked away paying less than $1,500. Call Coast One now. A 10-minute call can save you up to 93% on your back taxes. Get your fresh start today. That's 800-242-3186.
Sponsored by Coast One Financial Group.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
One smile is great, but one smile in a community of smiles is so much better. A smile has a secret power that most people don't know about. A smile multiplies. It spreads from one person to the next, stretching across entire groups of people. Smile Train knows this and is proud to be creating a wave of smiles across the cleft lip and palate community in over 70 countries. Patients, doctors, advocates, fundraisers. Collectively, our smiles are a celebration of the transformed lives of over 1.5 million children. Learn how Smile Train is helping the cleft lip and palate community at smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
Red Zone Energy, real-time reaction. BetMGM Tonight with Brad Evans and Pat Boyle rolls on.
All right, welcome back. BetMGM Tonight, Westwood One Sports. He's Brad Evans. I'm Pat Boyle. Phone number to join the show, 310-840-4910. Before the break, we were doing our three-point stance on the Arizona Cardinals. And for you fantasy football lovers and you lovers of BetMGM and eager to start getting some bets in before the NFL season gets underway. I know where it's only early in May, but sometimes, a couple of bucks here, a couple of bucks there, and you got yourself a nice investment to look forward to for the next 7-8 months. Brad, you love for the Cardinals. You love you some love. Jeremiah Love, over 900 rushing yards for the season. I'm going to go to the best tight end in football. And if this guy stays healthy and plays at least 15 games, I think he's smashing this. Give me Trey McBride.
Yep.
His season-long receiving yards is 1,000. You need 1,000 here to go over. I'm going over. Just look at the last 2 years for Trey McBride. 126 catches, which broke the NFL record for most in a single season by a tight end. 1,239 yards and 11 touchdowns. The year before that, 111 catches, 1,146 yards, only 2 touchdowns. I'm staying off the touchdowns. I'm going to the yards. He's going to catch a ton of balls, and he's going to get yards after the catch. I mean, he's a dynamic freaking weapon. He's an animal. He's a beast. Everybody on the other side of the ball can know the ball's going to him, and he's still going to beat you. And the fact that they do have Jeremiah Love and Marvin Harrison and Michael Wilson, yes, there's more mouths to feed, but also that makes it harder for teams to double team or pay a lot of attention to Trey McBride. So he's a linebacker nightmare. And so if you're going to cover him with a slot corner or a safety, then that's going to open up a lot of different playmaking opportunities for the other guys on the Cardinals offense. Point being, McBride's going to have another massive season if he stays healthy. He's easily going to get 1,000 yards. So I like Trey McBride over the 999 receiving yards. And then finally, Brad, the Cardinals team wins this year is 4.5, and it is heavily juiced to the under on BetMGM, minus 155. I'm just going to go out and say it. I'm going under. They might start 0-13. This schedule is brutal. If the Cardinals find a way to win 5 games this year, it's a mini miracle.
I totally agree. I am also going to live and land down under on Arizona. Get our buddy Mike Lee at ESPN gives them a 40% or greater win probability in only 3 games, Pat. Week 12 against Washington. Week 15 against the Jets. Week 17 against the Raiders. Maybe they don't go 0-13, but they're going to be lucky to muster 3 wins. And why is this number 4.5? It's almost inexplicable. I still feel this offense could be top 12 overall. Again, cleanup and garbage time, but that defense is in the running to be the league's worst without a question. Under 4.5 wins all diggity day long.
Yeah. I agree. I think they're going to be down. The defense, not that they're going to be downright terrible, because I agree with you. I love this offense, and we'll see what happens with Jacoby Brissett. I don't think there's going to be an issue. I think he'll probably get maybe an extra year tacked on to his contract. But, I mean, dude, they start the season at the Chargers, home against the Seahawks, at the Niners, at the Giants, home against the Lions, at the Rams, first the Broncos, at the Cowboys, at the Seahawks, first the Rams, at the Chiefs.
Yeah.
My goodness. And then versus the Commanders and versus the Eagles. And then they get that bye week in week 14. I mean, they are a dead team walking. All right, when we come back, we got breaking news. Breaking news regarding the reigning MVP in the NFL. We'll get to it when we come back. He's Brad Evans. I'm Pat Boyle. This is BetMGM Tonight.
The world is huge, like 197 million square miles huge, but it's also smaller than you think. With unlimited 2% cash back, the Cash Rewards Plus Visa card from Navy Federal brings our members closer to the game they love, rewarding fans of FIFA World Cup 26 every step of the way, thanks to Visa. From new jerseys and gear to game day tickets and non-stop cheer. With Visa and Navy Federal by your side, the world is at your fingertips. Terms apply for credit card rewards. Visit NavyFederal.org/cash for more information. Visa, worldwide partner of FIFA World Cup 26.
Empowered. Ellie here is getting the sleeve she's always dreamed of. She worked with Empower and planned for her next move, so she got good at money. Now she can be a little bad. Oh, by the way, you spelled journey wrong. No worries. She can afford the cover-up, too. Ooh, check out my tat. It says, invest well, live a little. Start today at Empower.com.
The IRS, the world's most aggressive collection agency. They can seize your property, bank account, and garnish your wages. They cause sleepless nights for millions of Americans. Don't be one of them. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, get protected today. Call 800-242-3186. Coast One Tax Group, protecting your bank, home, and your sleep since 2008. With hundreds of 5-star reviews and an A+ on the Better Business Bureau. Call Coast One Tax Group, 800-242-3186. Stanley from New York owed $93,000. The IRS placed a levy on his bank account. Coast One released the levy and settled with the IRS for $2,000. Mark in Michigan owed $225,000. After Coast One stepped in, Mark walked away paying less than $1,500. Call Coast One now. A 10-minute call can save you up to 93% on your back taxes. Get your fresh start today. That's 800-242-3186.
Sponsored by Coast One Financial Group.
The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under-eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Call 1-800-598-6439. That's 1-800-598-6439. Or visit Plexiderm.com/trial. Paid for by Sheer Science.
Furnished by IntelliBrands.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new patented Legsercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way.
Using Legsercise made walking painless again.
Legsercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
I have much less swelling and no more tingling.
Call right now and order your very own Legsercise Pro, the new proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now.
These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There is a tremendous price war in the term life industry. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-smoker can get $1 million of coverage for $75 per month level rate for 10 years, or a man age 50 non-smoker can obtain $500,000 coverage for a month premium of $110 level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for a new or replacement term life insurance, call Term Busters today for a quote at 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Rate and availability may vary by state. Sample quotes based on preferred non-smoker. Underwriting and exam required. Call 1-800-908-7636 for details. Paid for by Robert Levinger, Insurance Agent.
The day shuts down. The games light up. This is BetMGM Tonight with Brad Evans and Pat Boyle on Westwood One Sports.
Hey, welcome on back to BetMGM Tonight here on Westwood One Sports. He's Brad Evans. I'm Pat Boyle, and we are brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Download the app today. Please gamble responsibly. You can watch the show live on YouTube. Just search BetMGM Tonight and hit that subscribe button. You can watch the show live on Twitter at BetMGM Tonight. And you can listen to the show on the Westwood One Sports app, the Odyssey app, SiriusXM Channel 375, and hundreds of local affiliates throughout North America. The phone number to join the show, 310-840-4910. That's 310-840-4910. I just turned the Knicks game on, and I forgot to turn the volume on mute, so you heard Mike Breen blasting through my speakers there for a little bit. That's my apologies. But we're a couple minutes away from tip-off. We're a couple of minutes away from puck drop as well. Game 1 Eastern Conference Finals on the ice. Canadiens and the Carolina Hurricanes, as Montreal, one of 4 teams remaining in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the only Canadian team looking to break the drought. 33 years since the Canadian team last lifted Lord Stanley's Cup, and they were the last team to do it. They've got an uphill battle, though, facing that staunch Carolina team with that defense and Freddie Anderson playing Freddie Anderson postseason hockey, or at least first 2 rounds of Freddie Anderson postseason hockey. It's usually this round where he normally stumbles and bumbles. Montreal also 3-0. They swept that regular season series against Carolina. So we shall see, especially after last night, Vegas going on the road to Denver and taking out the Colorado Avalanche in game 1. Should have 2 tremendous playoff games on our hands tonight. 310-840-4910 is the number to join the show. But Brad, we got breaking news here. As of about 25 minutes ago, the reigning NFL MVP, Matthew Stafford. Remember, the Rams just drafted his replacement with the 13th overall pick a month ago in Ty Simpson. We thought maybe this was setting it up to be Matthew Stafford's last season. That might not be the case anymore. Matthew Stafford and the Rams have reached agreement on a 1-year, $55 million extension that is worth up to $60 million. And so Matthew Stafford is now under contract this season and next season, and he's got up to $105 million remaining on his deal with the Rams. Stafford's going into his 18th season. He's going to be 38 years old this year. He'll turn 39 1 week before the Super Bowl, which is at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. So, Brad, does this change your opinion on what the plans now for Matthew Stafford, and does this make it even more of a head-scratcher that they drafted Ty Simpson with the 13th overall pick?
No, because I think this might have been in the cards the entire time. Now, Les Snead, of course, was always motivated to go Ty Simpson. He wanted the heir apparent to Matthew Stafford. Whether or not Sean McVay was in on that decision or was not in on that decision, that's up to your determination. And maybe McVay was, playing it differently to the public, compared to what was going on behind the scenes. But there was full intention, and the rumors had kind of been already out there, publicly, that Stafford was working on some sort of extension. The belief was it could be multiple years. Could have been upwards of maybe 3-year extension. A lot of people felt it was going to be a minimum 2 years. So the fact that it's only a single year is a win for Ty Simpson. So what Ty Simpson can do is obviously learn behind the scenes, learn on the sidelines, absorb as much information as possible. It's kind of a passe, antiquated strategy, but we're seeing it as a distinct likelihood in Las Vegas as well, although on a minimized basis compared to this situation with Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza. It's not like Cousins is going to start the regular season under center for how many games? It could be 3 to 5, could be a couple. We'll, have to be wait and see what the determination is on that front. It's all going to be contingent probably on Mendoza's performance in the preseason and, of course, in training camp. But it comes to Ty Simpson, much longer leash for him unless Stafford were to be felled, God forbid, to a major injury, and he is then thrust into action at some point. So he could, sit on the sidelines for a couple of years, learn from one of the best to play the game here the last decade plus, and then the kid gloves come off. He gets unwrapped a couple of years down the road, and you can take off as a result. So, yeah, I think this is, this is all part of the game plan by the front office of the LA Rams. And I still believe, and I've said it continuously here on BetMGM tonight, the team to beat in the NFL this year for the Super Bowl are the LA Rams. They don't have any weaknesses on paper. Some people will say, oh, what about their wide receiver? I mean, you got Puka Nacua, you got Devontae Adams. I don't give a damn who the WR3 really is. It could be somebody already on roster. It could be somebody maybe they pick up at some juncture later this summer. It doesn't matter. They could play in more 13 personnel. There's even been discussions of like 14 personnel because they have just a plethora of tight ends. They have a strong ground game with Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. They got a solid offensive line. They got a very upgraded defense. So the downside defensively for them was always on the back end, but you get Trent McDuffie in there, Jalen Watson, former Kansas City Chief as well. I mean, they have made all of the upgrades necessary on that roster. They are a title team without question in my mind. Of course, though, barring major injury.
Is 14, if that was I'm sorry, I can't get past 14 personnel. Is that even a thing? I've never even heard of that. 4 tight ends
yeah,
and
I
one.
believe
And
14 personnel is a thing. Yes. There have been like rumors and discussions of some teams implementing some of those schematics out there. I know 13 has also been discussed, but somebody's like, well, there could be even 14 personnel. Who knows? McVay
that's
is
essentially
a mad
the jumbo
scientist.
package.
Yeah, it is like a jumbo package. I wouldn't be surprised if McVay has like a 2-kicker formation.
All hail McVay. We will follow and copy and paste everything he does. I mean, look, just getting back to the Stafford thing. I don't know, man. I get it. The Packers did it with Rodgers. It got him a Super Bowl. Got him one Super Bowl appearance. They did it with Jordan Love. I love Jordan Love. I can't get it.
Yes, you do.
My two biggest man crushes, Jordan Love and Alex Caruso right now. And Aaron Judge.
Oh, man.
But
the meat of the
Jordan
sandwich.
Love hasn't even been to an NFC title game. And you took him years before Rodgers was done. You just signed a 1-year extension for Stafford. You got him for 2 more years. Doesn't that make the draft pick for Ty Simpson even that more stupid? Because if it was just 1 more year of Stafford, I could get it. Now it's likely to be 2, and he could always retire at the end of next season. But why would you work out a contract extension then? You got an extension done. He's under contract for 2 more years. You took a 13th overall pick. When are the Rams going to be picking that high ever again? They got that because the Falcons. Why would you take it on a quarterback that you're now not planning on playing for at least 2 years? It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense, Brad.
Pat, you just answered your own question. You just answered your own question. When are they going to pick at number 13 again? That's it. That's
we
the bottom
wondered
line.
whether Ty Simpson should even go in the first round.
I understand that. Look, you and I are on the same page with Ty Simpson. That's not really the argument here. It's based on their scouting profile, their front office, the people that work for them that dissect all of these prospects, the ins and outs, the strengths and weaknesses, the whole shebang. They felt that Ty Simpson is a franchise quarterback of the future, and the Rams are like, hey, we're at 13. We're probably not going to be picking this high, at least for the next couple of years. Everything goes the way we expect it to. All the investments we made, including now the Stafford extension of another year. When are we going to be picking this high? When are we going to have the ability to kind of get the pick of the litter, so to speak, at the quarterback position? They were probably under the assumption it was not going to remotely happen in the next couple of seasons. So pull the trigger now, get our quarterback of the future, and let him learn on the league's best. I get it.
I think Ty Simpson stinks. I'm sorry. I think he stinks. I got questions too. We thought the Cardinals, we thought maybe the Jets would trade back into the first round at like 26, 27, desperate to try to take Ty Simpson because somebody was going to grab him at the beginning of round 2. And the Rams, they flat out take him at 13 when you have the reigning NFL MVP. Just because when are they going to be picking 13 again? It doesn't. If they would pick 27, okay, maybe I can understand it. They picked 13 and decided to use it on a quarterback when you have the guy at 38 years old coming off the greatest season of his career. You just came up short in the NFC title game. You could have taken a receiver. You could have taken defense. Hell, you could have taken a kicker, and it would have been better than taking a quarterback. And
two kicker formations, all the rage, Pat.
They got Big Mevis coming back. You could have used your 2 kicker formation that you talked about with Sean McVay to use it on Ty Simpson. Now that they've given Stafford another year, it makes that draft pick even more stupid, in my opinion. I'm sorry. And Les Snead, he's one of the great executives in football. I think Les Snead is a moron for taking Ty Simpson at 13. And I can only hope that I'm proven wrong. And I'll be the first one to admit it. But we got to wait a while. Unless there's a Stafford injury. They take a quarterback at 13, and we're all thinking, all right, this is going to be Stafford's last ride. Nope, he's got another year. So I really think that draft pick is very, very, very dumb. But look, the Rams are planning for Stafford to be here for another 2 seasons, and that, in likelihood, means that they'll have 2 more cracks here of trying to get to the Super Bowl with this current window. And, could Stafford just be, aging like wine? I know we think that it might not be possible for him to replicate the numbers he put up last year, but if the offensive line keeps him upright, he's like Aaron Rodgers in the sense that arm is like a jetpack, man. That thing don't age. That arm does not age. The other parts of his body sure do. His back, that's for damn sure. He'll be doing Sleep Number commercials till he's 70 and raking in the dough off it. That arm does not age, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's entirely fair. That arm has got a lot of velocity zip on it still. There's no question about it. And he keeps himself in great physical condition. He's lost a lot of weight. He's gotten svelte. He's gotten more cut. He looks like he's about, roughly 58. The beauty of an individual like me, I don't have any hair. Okay. For those of you watching me on video, my hair disappeared. Poof. Years ago on top of my dome. I got like the Bruce Willis effect. You have no idea how old I really am. But I've got a couple of those I got a little peppering in the beard if I were to grow it out right now. Some of the grays, mixed in. But I'm clean shaven right now, man. You could say, oh, man, Evans, you look like you're 35. God bless you if you were to say that to me. I could also be 65. You don't know the range of my age right now. Stafford looks ancient. That beard is getting whiter and whiter and whiter. He's going to be a full-blown Santa Claus from the neck up, by the time this season ends. But he can still sling it like a 25-year-old, and that's all that matters. Protect the man, and with the assets he has offensively on this roster, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, the plethora of tight ends, the spectacular and creative 2-kicker formation the Rams are going to feature this year. He's going to shatter records. It's going to be an amazing season in L.A.
And by the way, I need your skincare routine, Brad, because 48, you could be 28, man. You could be my age.
Tequila is a skincare routine. Me and Bigo.
Just take it and just rub it all over your face.
Yeah, and then put it down the pie hole. It's wonderful. It's just wonderful. Look, the Mexican government tells me that tequila fights osteoporosis. My bones are good. My skin is even better.
Yeah. You drink enough your bones are, they're going to basically, have to take a power saw to get through them. 310-840-4910. We'll take a short break. We'll have our first playoff scoreboard update of the night for you when we come back. Knicks and Cavs tipping it off, and the Hurricanes and the Habs have also just dropped the puck as well. But when we come back, we'll play our favorite game, the Sports Geo game. We'll see if we can get perfection when we return. He's Brad Evans. I'm Pat Boyle. This is BetMGM tonight on Westwood One Sports.
Summer's here, and life is on the move. Graduations, vacations, and more. Wherever you're headed, you can count on us. For the daily sports news and analysis you need to hear, listen on the Westwood One Sports app. Wherever you are this summer, Westwood One Sports.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses, plus free delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Bugs on your car aren't just gross. They're actually damaging your paint. That bug splatter, it's acidic. And in the summer heat, it can bake right into your finish, leaving behind stains, dull spots, and a car that just doesn't shine like it should. At Tidal Wave Auto Spa, we help wash it all away, safely removing bug buildup and bringing back that clean, glossy shine. Don't let bugs eat away at your finish. Get clean car happy at Tidal Wave Auto Spa.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I love seeing the old gang at these reunions.
Did you see Brian? He's in better shape than he was 25 years ago. How is that even possible?
Yep, I ran into him a few weeks ago and had to ask. He told me he started taking Nugenix Total T2.
The testosterone booster?
Yeah, but it's way more than that now. It also skyrockets your nitric oxide in as little as 3 hours. I started taking it right away and I'm already seeing results.
I was wondering what you were doing. You seriously crushed me in that pickup game last week.
Yep, after 40, energy, strength, drive, it all starts going downhill. But with T2, I feel like my old self again. Stronger, leaner, and my energy is way up. My wife even noticed a difference. They're giving out complimentary bottles right now. Just send them a text.
Text back to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of new Nugenix Total T2. Text now and you'll also get a free bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator. That's BACK to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Product not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
To receive your complimentary bottle, you just pay shipping and handling. Ordering your complimentary bottle enrolls you in paid subscription unless you cancel before the end of the trial period.
The U.S. Treasury quietly released its official financial report for 2025. It appears by its own numbers, the U.S. government seems insolvent. It's reported that the Treasury shows about $6 trillion in assets and over $47 trillion in liabilities. Add it all up, and it looks like the U.S. owes more than $130 trillion it doesn't have. If that were a family, they'd earn $52,000 a year, spend $73,000, and already be more than $1 million underwater. Any accountant would call that insolvent. So how does the government fix this? It can print money, which erodes your purchasing power. It can raise taxes, or it can cut benefits. And none of those can help to protect you. That's why many people who have something to lose move part of their savings into physical gold and silver, assets that can't be printed, defaulted on, or voted away. Call Monetary Gold at 877-NOW-GOLD for their complimentary gold and silver guide and a no-pressure conversation. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. Do it before the next headline, not after. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional. Furnished by IntelliBrands.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new patented Legsercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way.
Using Legsercise made walking painless again.
Legsercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
I have much less swelling and no more tingling.
Call right now and order your very own Legsercise Pro, the new proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call 800-555-1212. That's 800-555-1212. 800-555-1212 now.
These statements and products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
From kickoff to the final whistle, you're locked into BetMGM Tonight. Weeknights with Brad Evans and Pat Boyle.
All right, welcome on back. BetMGM Tonight, Westwood One Sports. He's Brad Evans. I'm Pat Boyle. Phone number to join the show is 310-840-4910. We've already got 2 goals in the first 2 minutes in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. If you thought it was just the Canadian Sabres series, look out. Might be in store for another frenzy of goals here in this series. Seth Jarvis for the Hurricanes scored 33 seconds into the game. Cole Caulfield answered for the Habs 27 seconds later. 2 goals in the first 60 seconds. Hurricanes won, Canadiens won. 17 and a half to go in the first period. Unreal. And then at the Garden, Game 2 Eastern Conference Finals. Also a very high-scoring affair so far. A lot of shot-making early on after the Cavs blew the 22-point lead in Game 1, and my Knicks won it. In overtime, the Cavs offense doing a much better job tonight. They lead the Knicks 17-11 with 6:45 left to go in the first quarter.